Hello and welcome to our global talks at the TV channel of Kazakh National Agrarian Research University.
I think actually, in fact, our relations are going really well. I think we're very good partners already, and it's important to recognize some of the successes we've had between Kazakhstan and Canada. We've been 30 years of diplomatic relations last year, which we celebrated with the government and with the people of Kazakhstan. And we've just come out of the COVID-19 pandemic, where obviously there was a bit of a slowdown in international travel, a slowdown in international exchanges and face-to-face, but we're back to business. And so it's really an exciting time as we unlock a lot of the potential that we have in the bilateral relationship. You mentioned our similar climates and similar sort of economies in the sense of the resources that we both have, a small population with a huge territory, rich in natural resources. So there's a lot that we have in common, which opens the door for a lot of cooperation. Now, of course, Canada and Kazakhstan have no historical link in the sense that we're on opposite sides of the globe, and yet it surprised me a great deal when I came here how much I felt at home and how much we have a similar, I think, personality, a similar way in our society of being practical, friendly, making progress together, multicultural countries, multilingual countries, where the government tries to bring people together, where the private sector is booming, and I know that there's a lot more we can do as Canada and Kazakhstan together. First, we're a very important investor here, top 15 investor, including in the resources sector, but also in emerging areas like life sciences, communications technology, and certainly in education. Everyone knows Canada as a prime destination for international education. We've been a long-standing partner with Kazakhstan in multilateral fora, including the United Nations and the OSCE, and we have a lot of cooperation on issues like nuclear non-proliferation, climate, and other critical issues affecting the people of the world today. Of course, Canada is one of our top priorities on gender, and we're very enthusiastic about some of the proposals from the President, from the government in terms of gender equality, in terms of pushing back on domestic violence, and I'm convinced we can do more in this area together. And then, as I mentioned on climate, in Kazakhstan there's a commitment to go to net zero on carbon by 2060. Canada is very active in developing technologies that can be helpful in this way, including in the resource sector, which will be necessary for the energy transition around the world. And I'm convinced that we have a lot of potential in that area. There are more areas, but I would say in general, I feel like our relationship is moving very well, especially having seen the COVID period when things were quite slow all around the world. It seems like we've rebounded. We've already increased our trade beyond 2020 levels, and things are looking bright for the future.
Thank you very much. And my second question, it's actually of great interest for our students and faculty members. In your opinion, what are perspectives for collaboration and cooperation between Kazakhstan and Canada specifically in field of higher education and academic exchanges? What can we do together?
Yeah, it's a very great question. It's a very exciting time on this area as well because the President of Kazakhstan indicated his intention to expand international higher education cooperation. And as a result, Canada's been in very intensive discussions with Kazakhstani institutions. We have a number of Canadian universities that are already talking with Kazakhstani institutions about expanding their cooperation, joint programs, and maybe branches of Canadian universities in Canada. At the moment, there's nothing confirmed, but I think it won't be long before we start to have some successes in this area. And I'm optimistic that with all the things that we share in terms of our conditions and our economies, that there's a lot that our education systems can share and that then the students of both countries can benefit. As well as we always, as Canada, we try to recruit bright students from around the world to continue their education in Canada in the higher education sphere. So this is a big area of our work. Now, let's be honest, visas have been a problem. We acknowledge it's been slow in some cases, but we have made some improvements this year in the last few months, and I'm convinced that there'll be a smoother process going forward, and we look forward to bringing more and more students to Canada to continue their studies. I think there's a bright future in education for sure.
If I'm not mistaken, Steve Jobs said, "Follow your dreams, man." So we have a dream to make sure that we will develop collaboration, and one day we will sit here in a classroom full of Canadian students and faculty members, together with Kazakh students and faculty members.
Great.
Thank you very much, and it was a great interview.
A real pleasure.
It was great hearing.
Thank you.
Sit down, please, for a couple of minutes.